Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacqueline. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacqueline at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to USA Global TV. And hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. Hello to Chris Roberts, the head broadcast engineer. I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and our show today is the Business Talk Show. I look forward to the show every week. We have been doing this. We have over 75 episodes, I think, 75, 74. And it has so much to do with my brilliant partner and co-host, a man who is an expert in all things business. Let's bring him on, Mr. Al Sini.
Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, it's a pleasure to see you. And I want you to know that I look forward to this show so much that I got a text message from Virtua. My heart is in and ready to transplant. And I said, tomorrow, not today. Put it on right.
Well, we could have done the show from the road, Al. We could have just had you traveling there, but no, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a fun show. And I think part of it also is that people are very interested in the world of business, and they're interested in entrepreneurship, how to be more effective, how to be more productive, increase revenues.
Well, they're definitely interested in learning from people like Ryan Harbinson, things you don't learn at Wharton and at Harvard, all the business schools. They teach you all the spreadsheet stuff, but what really makes a business work is so far beyond a spreadsheet. Every now and then you're just lucky to bump into somebody like Ryan who can help you work the ins and outs of that.
Yes. And Ryan's been here before, which I really love the fact that he's come back again. And, you know, he brings another element to the program, which is we have a number of business people who come here and they share what they do. And obviously they're actively looking for new clients, and we all want to have new clients. But Ryan is already established, and he brings a level of expertise and credibility to the program that I'm really excited about. So what do you say we bring him on?
Great.
All right. Mr. Ryan, and we're Harb today. Hello, Harb. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Al, that's quite a mean voiceover for the beginning of the show there. Very nicely done.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Who gets the first question? I'm dying to ask the first question.
Go ahead. You can have it. Go ahead.
And you don't mind?
No, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. I appreciate that. Ryan, listen. If somebody's not buying my stuff, is it because they don't like my logo or because they don't like my stuff? You're a branding expert. I know, and we haven't really properly introduced you, and I know that's one of your core competencies. A lot of people think that if I just juice things up a little bit, all of a sudden something I've got is going to be more attractive to people. And is that true?
You know, first off, thanks for having me back. It's nice to be back for the second time. Really excited to be here. And, you know, I think, Al, that's a good question, right? I think what happens is that brands get stale, right? That's part of it. And I think the other side of the thing is that I think people get confused on what a rebrand is and what a refresh is, right? So a refresh sometimes is a good thing to kind of give your brand kind of an uplift. Pepsi does it like every 8 or 9 years. If you go back and look at the evolution of the Pepsi logo. Pepsi has changed their stuff based on trends and what the design world is doing. And then someone like Coca-Cola kind of just has kept it the same since the late 1800s, early 1900s. I think part of it is not realistically that your brand is boring or that your product is boring. It is that you are either not telling the right story, right? Possibly your messaging is off, or you're just not on the right platforms to find that audience to really tell people who you are and what you do. And I think what happens is that people get confused on, just putting content out there as, hey, look, I'm putting out content. And the majority of their content is buy my book, right? Buy my stuff. All it is buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And what happens is that we are so inundated with so much content and all the time through people is that if you're doing buy my stuff all the time, I can still like your page, but I don't have to follow you anymore. And if I unfollow you, then your content now is not relevant in my my feed anymore. So that happens a lot too. So what it is, it's trying to build that relationship with your customer base,
Right.
with your audience that you know that you're in the right place with. And really, I say this all the time, right? So content is king. We hear that all the time, but engagement is queen. The name of the game is engagement. Likes, comments, and shares, and comments on comments is a great way to create that organic content that, you know, runs through the algorithms and gets your stuff up high. It appears in people's feeds more, and people want to be involved in the conversation, right? They want their opinion and their comments to be seen and liked. And what happens is it's a great way also to get feedback from the people that you're trying to get the message in front of.
Wow. So many brilliant points there.
That is, again, one of the things I want to I'm so glad you brought that up, because I know somebody who spent a fortune in time and actual money to boost posts, to build up followership for a Facebook page, up to about 450,000 people. But
audience.
Just because 450,000 people visited one day and liked it doesn't mean they're coming back and doing anything there every day.
Mm-hmm.
So just those numbers aren't really enough to tell you that you invested that money wisely.
Well, I think there's also a difference between the fact that there are different strategies in the content you put out, right? Like there is a place for that buy my book kind of stuff, right? And what that is, we kind of, in our world, we kind of consider that it's called the corporate content, right? You know, the best in show, you know, telling that message and that story. And then what you as a business owner have to do is integrate your team and, you know, really a schedule. Like if you don't have a marketing schedule, like a posting schedule and an understanding of like, hey, on the 2nd we post this and on the 5th we post that, and have everything broken down, you're missing out on the culture content, right? So the culture content is key to building that audience and telling that story. Because I want to know that Steve's been here for 10 years and that it's Mary's birthday and, hey, it was nice outside, so we had a barbecue. Or, hey, fresh off the production line, here we go. Like, people want to see that stuff. They want to see how it works in the background. And then, you know, people like us at ClearBridge, we kind of help develop that strategy. We help tell that story with you, but then we also complement that story by doing promoted ads, finding the audience, and then kind of like working together with marketing departments to kind of work it together. Because nowadays, with internet traffic being through the roof, so many people are on too many platforms, right? And the other thing we see is that marketing departments are overwhelmed, right? So every week there's like 30 to 40 different objects they need to get done on their list, and they get done like 13. So we come in and we kind of co-manage the marketing space with them. So we take a lot off their plate, allow them to kind of do more of that corporate that daily culture content, and then we work more on that corporate content, you know, pipeline, kind of telling that story and driving traffic to whatever, you know, the strategy kind of entails.
Ryan, thank you for sharing that. I'm wondering, as a follow-up for new business owners or established business owners, how much of their marketing budget should they spend on branding, and how often should you do a branding refresh?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a startup company, I mean, it's you know, bootstraps. You know, I've been there. I ran a business with a couple of my buddies for 10 years. We had a small software company, and we also ran a retail store. And, you know, I think what everybody thinks is that you've got to invest all this stuff into the marketing brand in the beginning. I think the most important thing in the beginning is to really focus on the look and the feel of your company logo. Taglines are extremely important because I basically want you to be able to know what I do by looking at my logo and reading my tag and understanding what it is. And I think there's a huge opportunity, especially on the beginning stages of starting either a retail business or your own type of startup where you're trying to bring customer base in, is that guerrilla marketing element, right? Postcards are a great way to go. Being integrated into the community, you know, old school stuff, sponsoring the baseball team, always being at some kind of a town fair, either in the county or the neighboring counties, like in the area, right? I think that's a part of it, and that's how we really built a business in the early days. And, as far as the timeline on when to do a refresh or a rebrand, honestly, it's really different per company. What we see a lot is multi-generation families will kind of do a refresh when like a new generation takes over. If you are changing a location, or maybe your the original flow and the feel of how the company started has changed. So like example of that is like, remember, it's not Dunkin' Donuts anymore. It's just Dunkin', because they do more than just donuts, right? So like when you have something like that happens, sometimes it's good to kind of do a refresh. And I wouldn't even say that's a rebrand. It's more of a refresh because, nobody called it Dunkin' Donuts for 10 years before they actually changed the name of the company. Everyone said, I'm going to Dunkin', I'm going to Dunkin', I'm going to Dunkin'. So after a while, you have to understand how your audience and how your customers refer to you as, right? So a lot of times, if you have this long name, sometimes people just, call you like either a part of that name, or maybe it's like 3 names and they just say ABS, and then all of a sudden everybody calls you ABS. And now instead of what your name is, you just become ABS. So it's really understanding, pay attention, and seeing what's going on. And refreshes and rebrands are important because it shakes the audience up a little bit, right? It lets people see that you're doing things, right? And it's like when you change the logo, people get excited because they're like, oh, things must be going on over there because they just did a huge new look and feel. And what we've been seeing a lot too is, shout outs to the past, right? So like the retro logos are super in right now. So like Pizza Hut just did a full rebrand and they just brought back the old logo from the 80s. It's wild, and then, we have Wawa by us, and the best gear that they sell on their website are the old Wawa logos from back in the day. So it's understanding what the audience is telling you, listening to them, and adapting based on what the market says.
Wow, that's so insightful and helpful. I just want to encourage our friends over there on LinkedIn. I see a lot of you watching. If you have any questions for Ryan, just please go ahead and put them out there for us and for Ryan to answer. Ryan, another question I have for you, when we talk about audience, and you have a presence on social media already, and you get the demographics that they give you, maybe it's not the target audience that you are really trying to appeal to. How do you change that? Is that with a whole new branding campaign or a marketing campaign?
I think part of it is the content that you put out. That's the biggest part of it, right? Because we're telling a different story based on the platforms that we're on, right? So prime example, let's just say that I go to a restaurant and I know the owners, right? If I know those owners, I'm going to tell a different story based on the social media platforms that I'm posting this content on, right? So let's say for Facebook. For Facebook, I'm going to take a selfie at the table with everybody, right? And tag everybody in it. If I'm on Instagram, I'm going to take a picture of my food. If I'm on LinkedIn, I'm going to take a picture with the owners, right? So it's the same content, the same message, but it's a different story based on the people that are receiving that content. And I think part of that too, and we talked about this earlier, was understand what platforms make sense and pick like 2 or 3 and just focus your time on those. I mean, you can be on so many things, but if you're not utilizing those platforms to their fullest capabilities, you're missing out on more content that you could put on the platforms where the people that you're trying to tell the message are on, right? So with Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and Twitter and Tumblr and YouTube and then all the other offshoots of everything else that's out there, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I always say pick 1, pick 2, 3 is a lot. But if it all makes sense, do it. But remember, you can't just post the same picture on everything because a lot of that audience is going to be cross-pollinated at the same time. So if they see your stuff already, the worst thing that can happen is that you get an unfollow. They'll still like your stuff, but with an unfollow, remember, they don't see the content in their feed anymore. Right.
Is email marketing still a thing these days, Ryan? Have people stopped doing that?
100%. Email marketing is still very a key part of it. I mean, it works more on the outreach, so like outbound sales stuff. And what is so they've changed the rules a lot over the last couple of years. On the email marketing, you can't just put people on a list. Like they have to opt in. That's a huge thing, and It's actually illegal in some spots that you just throw a bunch of people on a list and go through. So the nice thing about the email marketing is that if you develop an actual list of people and you're not destroying their inbox, people will take the time to actually read the content that you're putting out. It's a great way to keep your customers and people that are involved in the company and or people that have just decided to opt in on your email blast just informed about what's going on and what's happening, right? So short and sweet and to the point. You know, we live in a world of people that just read headlines and then they say they've read the whole article. We've seen it 100,000 times, right? You know, the best content on TikTok is 7 seconds. Think about that. That's where the attention spans are at. You know, we tell our clients all the time, if they get between 20 and 30 seconds of eyeball time on their website, crushing it. Okay, so keep that in mind. And you've got everybody going in 100 million different directions. And we all know in the business world, the email box should be called the vortex because that is all it is. Like, I clear this thing out, I look back, and in a day, it's full again. And I'm like, what is happening? Why is this here? So when you're sending those emails out, you want to just keep it short and sweet, right? Everything's short and sweet these days. It's just the way it works. And you want to kind of pull those people out because what we want to do is we want to utilize the inbox and the email blast as a portal to get them and direct them into different areas, right? So like, here's the beginning of our blog, read the first like 3 sentences and then cut the third sentence like kind of in half, click here, and now we're driving traffic to the website, right? And here's a deal for here. You get a little bit, you got to read more, click here, and then we send you out. So now we can monitor how much traffic we're getting from those email blasts and what the metrics look like. Because in our world, it's all about data and stats. That's really all it is.
Well, 7 seconds. Ryan, thanks for joining us today. We're way over.
I know, it's crazy. I know. And it's crazy, too, because in that TikTok space is the majority of the content that crushes is what we say all the time, right, is utilizing other people's content as your own. That is like the majority of what TikTok is. One person does a TikTok, and then everybody TikToks off of that TikTok. It's wild. It's a wild world. The Z kids.
Would you say? I want to explore a little bit what you do at ClearBridge and what you do, what your sweet spot is. You mentioned retail and you mentioned restaurants, which I guess is like entertainment, leisure activity. Is that a sweet spot for you, or do you work with B&B companies too?
Yeah, so we do a lot of B2B, B2C. You know, we're working with a lot of mid-market clients, and you know what we're kind of doing. We talked about this earlier. Is kind of helping the marketing departments. That's a great spot for us to be in. We love the food space. So, you know, we have offices in South Jersey. We're down in Philadelphia, and we're in Chicago as well. So food's a great spot for us. Food packaging, processing. You know, anybody that's in like the restaurant, like chain business, so that has like maybe like a restaurant group. We love the law space, financials, healthcare, and specialized healthcare is great for us. And, you know, really what we're doing is we're doing like long-term marketing plans, right? So we're doing like strategic campaign strategies. So we're creating a story, telling that across multiple platforms over about a year's time, if not longer. And we're phasing that out strategically throughout the year and then telling that story, you know, across many different things. So
any client, I know you mentioned too before the program, you're pretty busy, and I'm really happy to hear that. I'm happy for you.
We usually slow down a little bit around this time, and we're booking meetings up to the 23rd. It's crazy. Well,
and these are companies that are willing to make a commitment to a long-term program, not just I want to send out a couple emails, double my sales, and then say goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, we do websites and we do social media, but we don't do that. You know, we want to. It's all part of the phased out strategy.
Mm-hmm. I think that's important for people to know. So who is it at a company you typically deal with? Is it the owner or the CMO, if they have one? Or
yeah, I mean, CMOs are good. I mean, in our space, it's kind of, I mean, they get bombarded a lot, right? And, you know, they see marketing.
You don't have to say CMOs are good if they're not really good, you know?
Well, CMOs are good if they're looking for help, right? That's probably the asterisk in it, right? CFOs are good. COOs are great too. Marketing managers are good as well. So that's a good spot for us. The problem is that anybody with marketing in their title, when they see branding and marketing emails come in that of someone they don't know, everybody hard sells so much that it's just like, we don't run that way. We know we're here to help if it makes sense, and if it doesn't, then keep us in mind when it does. But everybody goes very 80s, you know, hard selling in the marketing branding space a lot. So
no.
Ryan, would you give us an overview for people who are new business owners or maybe established, but they're not really using social media and they want to? Which platform is really geared towards which demographic?
Yeah, I mean, the two that really are shining out right now the best is really Facebook and LinkedIn, right? Because what we can do is, I say it all the time. So LinkedIn, I'm very strategic on who I'm friends with because the messaging and the strategy that I put out there on LinkedIn, I want that content to be consumed by people that are actually part of my network and or know who I am and who ClearBridge is, right? On the Facebook side, I'm friends with everybody because you never know, a friend of a friend who knows everybody on there, right? So it all depends on where you're at. And if I can be honest, it depends on the industry too, because like Instagram works very well, but Instagram is also polluted with a lot of influencers, right? So like I think it's like 24% of Instagram has between users have between 10,000 and 100,000 followers. And about 26% of users on Instagram have between 100,000 and 1 million. So more than about half the platform now is all people selling stuff. It's all influencers, promoting products. So, I mean, it depends on what it is that you're doing. I mean, like I've seen a lot of people that are doing like, it depends like on what it is. So a lot of people will be going to TikTok to kind of bring in that younger audience on a product that might be a little bit boring, right? And that's what we see. That's a difficult. So like if you're a CPA, like where are you at, right? Like Al, for you guys, like where do you guys focus your energy on? I mean, like you guys have a product line that's good, but it's more for the B2B audience. Like what's the story that you tell and how does that work for you guys?
Well, that's I'll tell you the truth. It's a constant struggle for me and for most of the people I know that are in the B2B business, because what you're advising us to do is to create a conversation around the content and generate interaction. But I don't think any of us really knows. And one of the reasons why we need to call you is because I don't think any of us really knows exactly how to do it. And more importantly, how to sustain it. And see, that's another thing. Is posting twice a week enough? Is posting twice a day too much?
Yeah,
I mean, the algorithmic changes that the platforms make.
Yeah, I mean, so part of it too, and I know we're kind of all over the place because there is just so many different strategies because there's so many different platforms now to tell that story. What I would do is I wouldn't get the number of times posting to crazy, because you could be putting out good fun content, right? So you could be putting out some stuff that's maybe like 15% salesy and then like 85% like fun, right? So that could be 3 posts, it could be 6 posts, but you don't want to overrun people's feeds, right? And what I say is this: is if you're going to post, maybe say we only post twice a week, right? We post twice a week, and that's great for us because we get a pretty good amount of feedback from our content. But in the background, what you're doing is you are liking, commenting, and sharing, and that's what I say, Dr. Jacqueline, to those people that are out there, right? Especially the startups and the business owners that are having a hard time trying to figure out what it is. Get involved in the conversation. That is so crucial right now. Over the last 2 years, it is crucial to be part of that conversation. So find out those people that are either in the industry that you're in, especially if you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, anybody that kind of is utilizing hashtags as a core backbone of the infrastructure of the social media platform. That is a great way to do it. You should look into, if anybody's seen it, it's Gary Vee. We love Gary Vee, right? So he preaches the $1.80 strategy, which is a great thing to do. I love it, right? So what that is it's 90 posts a day, okay? So what it is, it's 10 hashtags that are integrated or part of either the industry that you want to be part of, the industry that you're in, or the conversation that you're trying to have with these people. Pick those 9 hashtags, and out of those 9 or 10 hashtags, you go to 9 or 10 of those posts and you like, comment, and share on those posts. And what we want to do is we want you to have people check you out, right? So if I'm liking people's stuff and then I'm commenting on comments, usually what's going to happen is that everybody that's in that conversation and on that post is going to get a notification that I am now part of that conversation. So what happens is that they're going to either like my comment and comment on my comment, or they're going to click on my profile, and I'm driving traffic either to my LinkedIn, to my Instagram, to my Twitter, to my Facebook that has all my stuff, that then it's going to then hopefully drive that people to the website. So we said this last time that we were on, right? It's all about low and slow, patience over greed. That's the way that it works. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. You can't just go viral. Like if everybody could figure out how to go viral, then everyone would go viral, right? There's no formula for it, right? Like if you remember a couple of years, maybe a couple months ago now, the guy on the skateboard drinking the ocean spray bottle and with the song behind him, that guy had done like 2.5 years of TikTok content before that video went viral. So it's all about slowly and being consistent on the content that you're putting out, owning that content, but also realizing that if you've been doing content for 6 months and it's not doing well, then maybe it's time to kind of switch the path and switch it up a little bit. But even if you're switching up the content that you're in, you can still always be part of the conversation.
Yeah, that's, you just raised another really good example. I remember not a TikTok, but a YouTube video of a father whose son was doped up from a visit to the dentist in the backseat of the car.
Classic. Is this real life? I mean,
how many hits? 30 million, 40
yeah,
million?
Is this real life?
Oh my God. Yeah, where you remember the kid, right?
Yeah.
But I don't remember what the dad does for a living. I don't know what the dad's trying to sell. I certainly didn't buy anything from the dad. But I know him. Everybody I know remembers that video.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. It's counting likes is not a metric.
No, it's not. But here's the thing, right? But the likes and the comments that you're in, right? So let's say that it's maybe a different strategy go about, right? Maybe we don't want to get involved in the conversation with everybody else. We just want to build that customer basis. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we do instead of this is that when we put our content out, say we're not doing amazing, but we're still getting views, right? So we're getting like 6, 7, 10 likes, and we're getting like 2, 3, 4 comments. Okay. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm just starting on very, very small scale. First thing I'm doing is everybody that liked my comment, I'm going to click on and see who those people are. I'm going to click on their page. I'm going to go to their page. I'm going to see what they have posted, and I'm going to like, comment, and share on everything they posted, right? Then I'm going to go into the comments. I'm going to comment on the people that commented, and then I'm going to go onto their page, and I'm going to like, comment, and share on a bunch of their stuff. So it's a lot of back and forth and trading. But what happens is that the people that you are commenting on and liking their stuff, they are friends with other people, right? So now they see that Steve and Bob's Hobby Shop is liking your pictures and commenting, and then someone goes, oh, well, if Mary likes Steve and Bob's Hobby Shop, I want to see what these guys are. And that's how it starts. It's just that slow snowball. You know, the snowball is this big when you start. When it gets to the bottom of the hill, it's 2 stories high.
That's
oh my gosh, this is brilliant information. Thank you. And I'm wondering, when you so if you could just talk a little bit more, give us a hashtag example, and then tell us like hashtag branding, and then you click on that and you go to everyone else who is underneath.
So I'll explain that in a little more detail. Okay. So all right, so let's say that we do hashtag branding, right? So the way hashtag branding works is that if I post something, an article, a picture, just a comment in general, I use hashtag branding. Think as hashtags in those social media platforms as nothing more than a directory within the platform. So within Facebook's not a great example because Facebook does hashtags. Okay, let's say Instagram, because Instagram was kind of built on hashtags, right? So let's say I'm on Instagram and I want to use hashtag branding, right? Anybody that has put that and tagged that hashtag in their post, it will now appear in that search for that term. Okay, so in this section, we do a couple things. Number one thing that you do, if you want to get involved in the conversations with that, is that you can follow hashtags. All right, so what a follow does on pretty much all platforms, a follow allows me to see that content appear in my feed with anyone else that's utilizing that term. So anybody else that's using hashtag branding, that content will appear in my feed as if I'm friends with that person. Okay, so we find out where the hashtag branding stuff is. We then can view those posts. And then in those posts, anybody that is commenting, liking, sharing, and or involved in that conversation, we can look and see who those people are and then go to their profiles and kind of get involved with them individually as a person or in the hashtag branding community on those platforms.
Thank you, Ryan. Now, it sounds like this is something that we need to put into our daily schedule,
100%.
social media.
Editorial calendar.
It is. I mean, look, this is what it is, right? So wake up in the morning, get your coffee, turn the computer on, look at your emails and go, okay, focus. I'm going to take 15 minutes, and whatever I get done in 15 minutes, that's what I'm going to do. I've got my list of terms on the wall here that I'm trying to go after, and or posts that I've posted. I'm going to go back through those and see what it looks like. You know, give it a little time to flow. Like wait a week after you post something. Then I would go back to those posts a week ago, and when they built a little bit of, you know, like traction, go through. However, make sure you're paying attention to the notifications on those platforms, and when people are commenting on those posts, to make sure that you comment back quickly. That is key, because the interaction of those posts is really the key to it all.
I know we're coming up on a break, and I've got like, do you want to take a break now? And then, because it's actually more of a confession. So
okay.
I'm going to confess something, and then I want to hear Ryan's opinion on it.
I can't wait I'm still in hashtag land, just trying to process all of it to change my own process.
Really, I never really thought much about them, and I think it's a great way to create interaction with people you've never met.
Correct.
Not just the people that are already friends with you, but people that are following a topic who've never met you before. Like
especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has done a really nice job over the last like 18 months or so integrating hashtags into the platform when it was not part of it at all. And what's great about that is that you can follow the hashtags. They appear in your feed. Then you can find the people that are talking to them. And then you can go to those people's profiles, like, comment, and share their stuff. And then I never connect with people that I don't know. So what I do is I follow those people like a hashtag. So now anytime that person posts, I get their content in my feed as if we're directly connected. And I'm always commenting on their stuff, hoping that I can pull their interest in me commenting to my profile. And now I see that they viewed my profile.
That just makes
sense. Now we've gone from ice cold to lukewarm.
I love what you just said about not connecting with them, but you follow.
I don't know who they are. They don't know who I am. Like, good afternoon. I would like to connect with you. Who is this person? I don't know. You get away from me. You and 87 other people that I'm going to deny. But if I'm involved in the conversation, I like a couple things. Maybe they like one of my comments, and I can say, hey, Al, I really love the content you put on LinkedIn. Let's connect. That's way easier when they go, oh, this is that guy that keeps posting my stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm writing all that down mentally.
I'm going to write it down as soon as we take a break. All right, Let's take a break and listen to sponsorship from our friend Trish Robichaux at Changing Paces, and we'll be right back.
Great.
The world is changing, and your company needs to change with it. Whether it's procurement, employment, marketing, or customer service, it's now more important than ever for your business processes to be inclusive to people with disabilities. Hi, I'm Trish Robichaux with Changing Paces, and I'm here to tell you that making your business processes accessible to people with disabilities is simply good for business. Accessibility and inclusion are the law. But here's what you may not realize. Disability inclusion is an opportunity, not an obstacle. In fact, a recent 4-year study found that companies that fully embraced disability inclusion had a 30% higher profit margin than those that didn't. Your investment in staff disability inclusiveness training can pay off in areas like innovation, brand recognition, as well as customer and employee satisfaction and loyalty, not to mention productivity and profitability. At Changing Paces, we can help you make that happen for your business. Our experts have real-life experience that will help your team gain insight and best practices they won't get anywhere else. And we can help you create a customized training program to bring your organization into compliance with local and industry regulations. This topic is very close to my heart for me, very personal. Dealing with the challenges of MS for the past 25 plus years and having lost my job as a result of my diagnosis back then, I've made it my mission to bring disability out of the darkness and create a more welcoming environment for people of all abilities. As a pioneer in the field of inclusiveness, our company developed and implemented one of the first accessible customer service training programs in Canada. We provide complete online training solutions that blend with your branding, your policies, and your systems. Between our disability subject matter experts and our technical partners, we can provide you with both the content and the platform that you need to create an evergreen training program that empowers your people while it transforms your organization and your company culture. In short, we make disability inclusion easy in all parts of your business. Contact us now for a quote or consultation at info@changingpaces.com. Your bottom line will thank you.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline, the business talk show. My name is Al Cini, and Dr. Jacqueline, it's always a pleasure co-hosting this program with you.
Yes.
Especially when we get great ideas from guys like Ryan Harbinson. And so, Ryan, here's my question. Listen carefully. You have 7 seconds to answer this question.
Great.
7 seconds, not 6, not 8. What do you say to a dinosaur who says, I don't believe in asteroids? And another way to put it is, what do you say to a business owner who says, I don't do social media?
That's the time-old question, right? How do you get people to adapt? It's a hard one. I mean, there's a lot of people that still think advertising in the newspaper is the only way to go, and your audience is older. I would say this is, part of it is understanding and kind of maybe explaining it a little more, right? I think people just hear post it online and then they're like, I don't have time for that, or that doesn't work. And I think part of it is just educating people on how and what the message is that we're trying to put out there, right? Like if we don't really have a website, like Facebook is kind of like some people's websites too. Like we got to remember that, right? So I think part of that is it's not so much on like explaining that the asteroids are real, right, as you say, but more on the point of saying the outreach to where it is. And I think part of it is keeping those people out of the equation of the social media itself. So like have them be on board, but not be doing it or being a part of it, because it can be very overwhelming, right? Especially if there's some people that still don't email, which is mind-blowing, right? And I think it's part of it is kind of going, I don't want to say rogue, but at the same time, like taking it and being like, we're doing this, and let me tell you why it's good, and you don't have to worry about it. We'll handle it. Like, we see a lot of it. Like, well, my granddaughter does all my social media, and I'm fine with that. And I think that's a good kind of compromise in the world, because it's, if you're new to the world, and especially if you're going to do Facebook, which the majority of people are going to be doing, because there's close to 3 billion users on Facebook, which is like half the world's population, which is insane. I think with Facebook is so much right now, like from where it was when it started, there's so many tabs and sub menus and mini menus and notifications and marketplace and video. And it's a lot if you've never really been on. So I think the compromise is not necessarily not being on it, but it's allowing someone else to do it and understanding the benefits on the message that you're going to be able to put out. And I think at the end, it's just like, hey, we're telling people who we are, and there's so many people on here to tell that story to.
This is, I'm old enough, Ryan, to remember being embarrassed because I didn't have a fax machine and I'm also old enough to remember that I was really embarrassed because I still had a fax machine. So, it's speaking of seeing fire and rain and lonely days I thought would never end, which is another reference. You sit down with somebody like me, and my first instinct is going to be to tell you, you know what, this social media stuff, it's crap. I don't follow it. I've got a business to run. I'm just busy. Then I sit down with somebody like Dr. Jacqueline, and I start to cry because I know that there's a world out there that is requiring me to change the way I think about it. And I just don't know where to begin to deal with that. So my question, I guess, to you is, if I own a company, and I'm not crying yet because I'm not talking to Dr. Jacqueline and I'm just rejecting the whole idea of what you do. But if I quietly just say, listen, here's a bag of money. Could you do this for me? What do you say? Can you take a bag of money and do this for somebody?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is not. Well, I mean, we're always going to take a bag of money, obviously,
It's going to be a big bag of money.
But I think part of it is this, right? It's like you, as the business owner, doesn't necessarily need to be on the platforms as well, right? So there are company profiles for a reason, and that is one of the main reasons for the company profile, because I'm the CEO, or I'm the older guy or gal that just doesn't get this social media stuff. I know it's a thing and I got to do it, and I don't have the time for it. I don't care. I don't want to be on it, right? Part of that is why we can utilize your company profiles to do that. And the other side is integrating the employees as well, right? So, there's a big part of it. Like when you're putting out content as your business, right? You should have a system set up, either sending an email or a text message or whatever that is, and copying and pasting that post that you've just put out and sending that to everyone who has social media accounts that works for the company on that platform, right? Because what we can do is say that you have, even if you got 3 or 4 people, it's still 3 or 4 more things. And what I'm saying is like, hey, I'm going to post when we post this stuff, or hey, the branding company posted on our stuff. When they post, I need you guys to like, comment, and share that, because, again, it goes back to what we were saying before. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get into as many lanes as highway as possible. And everybody that has an account is their own single lane. But everyone that they're connected to is another piece of that road. So when I share content out, it's not just me sharing my company's content out. It's me sharing my content to my network that is 1,000 people that I'm connected to, that I'm letting people see what I'm putting out. So even if you're not a fan of this stuff, you don't get it, there's ways around it where you have to utilize. Remember, we live in a data world. And if I can explain it the best way, is that these platforms are allowing us to collect the data to tell the story to the right people, right? And remember back in the day, we had direct mail campaigns, and everybody would do an EDDM, right, which is an every door direct mail, or like pizza places, right? So like if for a pizza place, it's great, and you send it to everybody in like 10 zip codes, and you go in. But then as the direct mail space turned in a little different, they were able to create lists with different things in them. Have so many kids, lived in a house for so many years, drive a certain type of car, and then send those pieces of direct mail directly to those households, and got a better ROI because we're not hitting everybody from Section 8 to $1 million. It's the same thing. So what we're doing is we're able to kind of focus on who we want to get in front of, tell that story to those people, and then run lookalike campaigns, which are people that are in the same percentile of the people that we've already identified as a key person to tell that story to.
Okay. So tactically speaking, this says that, to me anyway, you get out there and you post how the employees of a company are kind of the forgotten marketing resource.
100%. It's all organic.
Yeah. So I'm in the brand and culture business. I see you post that. What you've just told me is that the culture of your organization is intertwined inextricably with your brand. What I need to do is say, I need to take what you did, like it, comment on it, and then turn that comment into a repost of what you said.
Correct.
Adding to it what it is that we do that reinforces what you do.
100%. So if we post something,
I get to your audience.
Yeah. So like here, think about this, right? The early days of Barstool Sports on Instagram, right? Barstool's one of the biggest guys on Instagram. They do the best content out there. But in the early days of Barstool, they did not make content. All they were doing was utilizing other people's content as their own.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the other side of the coin, There's people out there spending hundreds of millions of dollars creating content. There's no reason that you can't just kind of be a subject matter expert or be the go-to line for topics that people go to you for, and have the 10 sites that you go on every day and utilize that content that people are writing articles on and put it out yourself and be like, great info from steveandbarry.com, and send that out. I mean, that's the other way to go.
So
I got an idea. No, but go ahead, Dr. Jacqueline, because I know this is appealing to you because this is a hill we're all climbing.
I live this every single day, Ryan. So we have between 18 and 20 shows a week, and we're on a number of platforms. And then we have 15 co-hosts and all the guests. And what I struggle with is, and anybody out there who has had me put on any of my posts, please like, comment, and share. I'll tag the person, please like, comment, and share. And it amazes me that people they create this content with me and they don't like, comment, or share. And then I go back to them and, I might text them, call them and say, hey, I don't really have time. And they're losing out on a huge opportunity. If you're already creating content, let other people know about it.
Why would they want to know that? What's wrong with people? I mean, what is
wrong with people?
I think part of it too is that it is overwhelming on all the notifications that you get and your day and where it is. But again, it comes back to that morning routine. If you feel like once you get moving, 9 o'clock, 8:30, and the day's going, you got phone calls and you got meetings and you got to type up proposals and you got quotes and reports and whatever it is, right? Wake up a little bit earlier, take that 15 minutes, run through your social, check your notifications. Checking your notifications alone is great opportunities for content for you and or getting involved in the conversation as well. The other side too is that if you're striving on what content to post, okay, every morning, everybody has a routine. We all have 8 to 10 websites that we check every morning, that we go through, that are either part of our industry, things that we love, or things we're trying to learn more about, right? So you're going to read an article or see a headline or see something, just post that with your 2 cents. And now, good job. You did your content for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
That's brilliant.
So I own a restaurant.
Analysis over paralysis, right? That's how we do it all the time. That's everybody's job. They don't do it, so they don't do it. And because they don't do it, they have no content.
And okay, so I own a Chinese restaurant, Lucky Happy Goofball, whatever it is. I mean, that's what they're all called. So, and it's a great restaurant. I'm really happy about it. So, but I'm posting all the time about my menu, and nobody seems to care. I've got like 300 followers on LinkedIn, maybe 1,000 followers on Facebook. Nobody's coming because of any of that. So I open up a fortune cookie. I take out the fortune. I take a picture of it, and I post that.
Boom.
And then I tell everybody, next time you open up a fortune cookie, take a picture of your fortune, post it, tag me in it. We're running a contest.
Great.
Once a week.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with the contest stuff, legalities and things like that. But yes, we'll pick a winner and we'll highlight you or something like that. Is great.
We'll highlight you, or maybe you get a free dinner at the restaurant, whatever. Yeah. But come on in and we'll give you a free dinner. That's how this is done.
100%. And I'm sure you've got a lot of great cooks in the back that are hilarious and that are cooking the whole time, right? So there's no reason to not get them cooking and then putting stuff and plating it straight up and be like, oh, orange duck. Be like, this is my favorite. What is your favorite? And people go, I love the number L7 is my favorite. And then that's how the conversation starts, right? Or you just do that quick 7-second content. It's like, we start with the chicken and then it goes in and we pull it out and then put it here. And this is what it looks like. Tell us yours. And that's it.
Phone with the camera, 7 seconds.
Boom, it's done.
Take the image, post it. And
there are 100,000 video apps on here that are super easy to use, and you can literally hold down for a second, let go, hold down for a second, let go, hold down for a second, let go, and then you've got a strand. You get free music. You copy, you paste it, boom, you put it out. Looks like you got video production. It looks like you got music behind it, and it's just super simple. It just takes a little bit of time. Everyone's like, I don't have 5 minutes. You do. You do have 5 minutes.
It's not even that.
You have 5 minutes. Just do it.
We waste time doing silly things.
One of these days with Dr. Jacqueline, we have to do a whole episode on the self-destructive nature of people.
Of human beings.
When they know there's a step they can take to be more successful, they actually run away from it rather than take it.
Yeah, they spend more time complaining about it than it would take to actually do it. Yeah, and that's something I just want to add in. Ryan, I love what you said about the routine. And here's the thing. So you don't like to do social media. It's a pain in the neck. It can be confusing. Just take the emotion out of it and look at what could possibly come as a result of it. As a result of you doing this, you're going to meet new people, new connections, get new business.
We didn't even get into the world of like DMing people and direct messaging people and like having conversations with them. And then like someone's posting something that like is inspirational or like something that you really like to see. Maybe they closed a big client. Like a comment is great, but a DM is even better. So now I send you a direct message that says, "Hey Al, great job. Saw your post. You're killing it, man." Send.
So Dr. Jacqueline, you're going to create a hashtag, like and share.
Yes.
Right? You're gonna post our interview today with Ryan. You're going to use the hashtag like and share just to make sure that everybody knows what it is they're supposed to do.
Now wait, am I going to do like A&D or ampersand share?
Oh, I would definitely do A&D.
A&D, like and share, and good question. And by the way, when this is all over, if Ryan doesn't like and share it, we're going to go kill him.
You're talking to the wrong guy. This will be out there. Don't worry, buddy.
All right, I know.
Something I want to just share with everyone. I work with a number of people who are in their 70s and some people even in their 80s. And these people are on it when it comes to social media. I've held courses for them.
They love Facebook.
They love
it. Their kids got off it.
They love it.
Yeah, there is an older generation that has like infiltrated Facebook, and all the kids left and went to Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram and all that. But like there is like an older audience that older boomer and younger boomer and like older Gen X that like they just crush Facebook. It's wild. They also get in a lot of fights. And I'll tell you right now, everybody, the internet will always win. Do not get in fights on Facebook. It is a waste of your time, okay? It doesn't matter how many arguments you have or how many facts that you have. It doesn't matter. The internet is wild.
That's great advice right there. Never engage.
Don't fight on Twitter. It's a waste of your time even more.
Seriously. Wow.
You know, that's something I just want to close out with is when I see somebody is actually arguing with someone about their point of view about politics, this or that, I immediately disengage. I'm thinking, come on.
What are you going to change?
Nobody cares.
Or how about this? I am fed up with Facebook and I am going off of Facebook. I can't take it anymore. And then like 2 days later, they're back. It's like, wow, that was amazing.
They're just hoping all their friends will beg them to stay on because they haven't gotten anything from them.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. And the problem is that the majority of Facebook and everything that's out there, we're living in a world of narcissists and people that are obsessed with dopamine. And that's really what it is. You know, people take pictures of themselves all day in a dress or in a suit, and everyone goes, "Oh, you look so nice. Oh my God, you're so handsome. You're so beautiful." And it's just because it's that instant rush of dopamine that these people are getting. And I've always felt like it's bad for the world. I mean, I was listening to some stuff the other day, and a great idea was, when are they going to make a social media platform where you can only post once a day? You have you post something and your account gets locked out for posting. The content that would come out would be so magical because it wouldn't be like, I had a bag of peanuts. I just ate another bag of peanuts, and now I have 3 bags of peanuts. And you're like, okay, dude, I get it. You like peanuts. Like, thank you.
You just gave Zuckerberg an idea. You get 1 post a day for free, and if you want more,
that's all Gary V stuff. I can't take credit for that. I mean, he said that a couple of months ago, and I've been harping on that one. It's a great idea, and I wish someone would do it.
Right, definitely. Okay, you're the branding expert. Is Meta a good idea?
So Meta, okay, so let's talk about 2 things, right? Because I know we're up against the clock. So one, Meta is the name of the company now. So Facebook was the name of the company, and Facebook was also a platform. So Meta is now the name of it, much like Alphabet is the head company and Google is under Alphabet. So that's 1. 2, is Meta a good idea? The metaverse? I mean, the metaverse has been here for 10 years already. It's called Fortnite and Roblox and Call of Duty and anything that you can buy digital skins in that aren't really something in the real world. I mean, you could even consider like World of Warcraft the metaverse, where you're walking around playing MMO RPGs, these big RPGs with tons of people on the platform with you. The problem is that people are going to, especially with everything that's been going on, people are already disconnected immensely, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a very slippery slope, because people are going to disappear and not come back. And if you've seen Ready Player One, it's pretty much going to be Ready Player One at some point. We're hearing people talk about the crypto space and the blockchain space, which is all amazing new technology, which is really helping take out the middleman and really create the peer-to-peer experience that people want, a free and decentralized internet, which a lot of people want as well. But the problem is that people are going to go into these metaverse homes and spaces and just kind of never come out again. We're looking at, NFTs being integrated into this world too. And really the way I see the NFT space is going to really explode in the metaverse universe. And what that's going to be is kind of a hybrid of physical and digital together. So I go to the Nike store on the metaverse servers. I go into the Nike store, I can buy any pair of shoes that they have available. I automatically get that picture framed. I put it on my wall with its own digital serial ID that nobody else can buy, because I have the only one, because it's on the blockchain. My avatar now wears those shoes, and in 2 days with the Ethereum or Litecoin or Bitcoin or Doge or Shiba Inu or whatever cryptocurrency you want to pick, I paid for those physical shoes, and now they're shipping to my house, and they'll be here in 2 days.
So interesting.
So that's where I kind of see a lot of that going. But the problem is it's just, how do people not get consumed, right? So I'm 39. I'm kind of the last generation that kind of grew up hybrid on the digital side. So like we grew up analog, but we were raised digital. Pretty much all these kids from 2000 and up have all been raised with digital elements in their brains. So like they don't think anything of it. Like it's going to get to a point where my nieces and nephews have grandkids, and they're going to go, wait, you didn't have the internet? And that's going to happen soon. And people are going to be blown away by that. I just think that we need to be very careful with the integration of this. I think mental health is going to be the biggest downfall with the metaverse, is people creating this second world that can take over and people won't leave. And especially with everybody working from home. I mean, Microsoft's not going back to the office ever again. So why would they not integrate some sort of a metaverse where I can put my goggles in and I'm like, hey, Steve, how you doing? Good to see you. See the game last night? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I got I got this screen that's 3 inches from my face for 8 hours on my head.
What's that going to do to me? Good
point. Well, that's part of it too. So I think the metaverse is fun, but I'd rather just play games in the end, honestly. But it's going to happen no matter what. So that's going to be the next step. I mean, we're going to see that's all coming. I mean, the advantage right now is that VR is still kind of not huge. A small percentage of the population plays Oculus and the HTC ones, and then everything else that's out there that's kind of like with your phone. So, I mean, right now it's kind of gimmicky, right? It's like concerts and maybe play a rail shooter or like games that you're on, like, like the music games and things like that. But when there's a way that the pop culture and the mainstream comes in and starts having those Oculus in their home more and more and more, and it's being integrated into TV, I think when we see shows that are only available on Oculus and you can only watch them on the Oculus system, we're going to see that. But I think really what's going to happen is there's going to be a generational gap where you're going to see this, everybody at a certain age is fully accepting of that technology's full integration into everyday life, and that's when it changes. And that's probably not for another 10 years the fastest, 20 years the longest. I think it's that fast.
It's something to talk about next time. We got to get you
wild.
Ryan, you have to. I was going to say you have to come back, and I don't know if it's even possible. Can you do a screen share and show us the metaverse? Because I have not seen it, don't know what it is, and I'd like to learn more. And everybody seems to have an NFT, and I don't have one, so I'd like to hear more about that as well.
Oh, great! If you want, I can introduce you to a couple of my friends that are developers and are blockchain and crypto and NFT guys, and they would be probably even more into it than I am. So
Cool to talk about. Definitely. Great.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you. Ryan, what's the best way for people to reach you and who should contact you?
Yeah, sure. So LinkedIn's the best way to kind of get in touch with me. So just Ryan Harbinson on LinkedIn with ClearBridge Branding Agency. Let's connect. And, we're always looking to talk to people that are kind of overwhelmed in the marketing space and need a little bit of assistance. Maybe you've hit that ceiling and you're looking to grow. We're always looking to kind of help grow that pipeline too. So outbound sales reach has kind of really been huge for us. Or if you just really want a new audience to know who you are and tell that story, we'd love to have a conversation. So thanks.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate it.
You guys are the best.
We'll have you back again. Have a great holiday season. Remember to reach out to your wife about the book.
Oh, I will. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, Ryan.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. I learned so much, Al.
It's still sinking in, Doc. And it's a great interview with a guy who knows his stuff. And hopefully people out there watching and listening will reach out directly to Ryan and connect with him and find out how he might be able to help them.
Right, because that's definitely just the tip of the iceberg of the knowledge that he has. So
yeah, for sure.
So thank you again, Ryan. Al, what's the best way for people to reach you and who should contact you?
Organizations, especially these days, that are thinking about conducting an event to launch 2022 or to say goodbye finally to 2021. We have a program called the Brand and Culture Alignment Toolkit program that could be booked as a year-end meeting or as a kickoff the new year meeting or a quarterly meeting. It's an experience that is fun and entertaining and engaging, and it aligns your people around the purpose of your organization, and that motivates them to do amazing things for you, which is really what you want your people to do. So I'm al.cini at getbcat.com. Feel free to drop me a line.
Thank you, Mr. Cini. And Al and I are going to hurry off to the next studio for our next show, which is The Listening Mentor, and starring Mr. Al Cini, Elevated Listener, and also Hyatt Ives. So thanks for being here. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, everybody, for watching and for engaging. If you have any questions, please reach out to Ryan directly. He is a wealth of information. All right, we'll see you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.